someone has placed a portal. I want to go through. Come on, let's go through. Yeah, I can't go through that portal, but apparently my ship can, and it's an eye pranker. In case you don't know, there are a bunch of eyeballs around the server that point towards a prank, and ours is looking at that. Now this does give me an idea to expand my starter base, so I'm gonna gather a few materials because I've been spending some time in the creator world, and I'm gonna finish this because right now, on its own, it kind of feels lonesome and I feel like we could go to the next level. Speaking of next level, my starter base has gone through a change. That concrete, I got some supports on the wall, got this hatch that can open and close, and that's Stick, my dog, just chilling. Got a bunch of barrels here with everything else, but let's go gather some resources first. So being a futuristic build, I decided to buy some concrete from Wiredestroyer store and even converted them from powdered concrete to regular concrete for the price of 3 diamonds. Now let's go back to base and get us some light blue wool. Next, I need a bunch of acacia trapdoors, so I went to Order's wood store and bought a bunch of acacia wood and crafted trapdoors. Now every build needs some light sources, so I went to Average's frog light farm and got some yellow frog lights, and then crafted a bunch of iron bars and iron trapdoors in order to make some details on the build. I went mining for andesite to make polished andesite because they look pretty futuristic, so I made some stairs and slabs. None of the server shops have glass in them, so I went to Time Space where glass magically enters your inventory, bought some sculk from T shop, and then I went to meet Oda because I ran out of andesite.
I hear jingle bells downstairs. Hey, you went the wrong way. So come up the double ladders here.
Ah, I see. Oh, very nice. You moved.
It must have been a while since you've been here.
Yeah, it has.
These chests have been up here for quite a while.
Thank you.
Because like I ran out of room in that little closet very quickly. Ooh, no. I have like 2.5 shulkers of raw andesite and like 6 or 7 shulkers of polished andesite.
That's a lot of andesite. After crafting slabs and walls, I went to AVG's base for some beacons, not to mine more andesite, but purely to use them for decorational purposes. I also want to make this base using expensive building blocks, but I've also realized I'm completely broke, so I had to steal from my own build at the Halloween district to stay financially sound. And after patting myself on the back, or actually clapping, it was time to start building. Taking my inspiration from the Artemis 1 moon mission launchpad, we're starting off by using iron as a frame to build our rocket a launchpad building. And that's where all the iron bars and trapdoors come in, to add detail and make the build look highly technical. I came up with the idea of adding diamonds as my fictional power source for the build in order to stay on brand with my hashtag diamonds are building blocks. And after finishing up the other side, you'll notice I've left a hole in one of the sections, and that's for good reason. I then added the cranes that held the rocket before its launch. I also built a loading dock for the hypothetical astronauts that would get into the rocket ship. And no build is truly complete without branding, and that's where the Wire Wings logo comes in. And I added a communication satellite on the roof, so I had to quickly upgrade my rocket for interdimensional travel because the portal gave me an idea. And with the help of flying drones, the portal has now stretched wide enough for the rocket to fly through. Mission control, you are cleared for takeoff. But that is one small thing, and that's adding danger to my build. No, don't worry, I did test this. So hypothetically, this shouldn't do that much damage. Yep, nothing's broken. All the trapdoors are still intact, and that's how you integrate end crystals into your build when you play on a server. So if you want some in-depth lore, this space station launch tower thingamajig is sending our Wire Wings rocket into this portal that's magically appeared in the middle of nowhere, and it's using that beacon, which is actually an end crystal, as a homing device in order to send it to its desired location. Now as we fly in to the base. So this is going to be my main way in and out. And yeah, there's no real interior yet. And in case you don't have wings, this is actually the way to get in. I'll tell you the way to get up once I actually finish making the floor. There's also a secret passage here that goes all the way to my starter base. Well, this is still my starter base. To my cave base underneath the rocket. So this links up with this. Now one final thing we need to do is actually make this launch pad worthy, because right now it's just on the ground. You know, this is grass. Launch pads need to be made out of tough material, and I don't mean the block tough, but I mean deep slate. So let me add a couple more details like spruce trees or coconut trees. And once I'm done, I'll come back for the final reveal. I also want to show you guys how this base looks like with shaders on. So that's how it looks during the nighttime, and that's how it looks in the morning. Now isn't that something? Yeah, in case you're wondering why there's a glass bottle here, in between building, I'll show you guys a screenshot. Yeah, I trapped King Domity in this, but he escaped, so it's just a glass bottle now. Also, if you're wondering why I don't record with shaders on, yeah, it's not really good for recording if you look at the frames, but for now it's better without shaders. So let's finish the build. To turn this build into a launch pad, I had to first replace all the grass blocks beneath my base with deep slate blocks. And with the rockets being an obvious danger to life itself on the server, I had to place some caution tape. I also bone mealed the area to visibly show how remote and wild this area is meant to be. And then I added some Captain Kai coconuts for that tropical island vibe. And then I got bored, so I flooded the entire server with water. No, I'm just kidding, that's just a visual glitch. Anyway, the build is now complete. It's actually been a couple of days. As you can see, I've got a chicken head on. I've been slaughtering quite a few wildlife around the area. I also got myself a trident, and I did record a bunch of events that happened on the server, but none of them actually seem to have any video to them. But essentially, here's what happened. I bought a trident, I lost the trident, and I bought another one. And here we are. There also seems to be a lot of activity on the server with Mr. Talc from last season, and a dragon looking at an eye. That's kind of ominous. Anyway, so here's the thing. We've got our launch pad, and now we need to actually add a few more things. But before that, I want to tackle the interior, which I've decided not to do for this part, as you see, for diamond blocks. But we're going to do some redstone. So this structure is what fuels a rocket and also gets the pilot into the piloting chamber of the rocket. And I seem to have a delivery there. But currently, there's no way to get up. So we're going to make a redstone flying machine, so that when the pilot is ready to depart, he's basically going to leave his quarters, head into the flying machine, go up to the top, and get into the rocket. Now, I might need some help, because I actually don't know how to make a redstone flying machine. And the two people that I know of who are proficient with redstone are Nard and Mike, and Nard seems to be AFK. What's this about? Please, this is on the floor. Does this count as a tree? Big tree. Oh, he's gonna go for lunch. Looks like we're gonna have to tackle redstone ourselves this time, but it seems that people are planting stuff. Okay, so I'm not going to show exactly what's been going on. If you look at the top right, you can see a floating root there, and behind me we got a bunch of floating trees that are on actual floats. And I've actually been planting trees, contrary to this one that's been destroyed by a Halloween special meteor. But let's leave that for the next episode. For now, let's focus on our base. Oh, totally forgot to mention, I added this particles mod. A bunch of ores should be shiny, and even underwater you can see that it adds a bunch of particles in the water, so it kind of feels like it's a bunch of plankton. That's good, and House has been there a while. Okay, first things first, I'm going to set up a temporary platform up here. I need to place some obsidian over there. We should be fine on the bottom. Slime block, looking connected to a piston. Oh god, I hate haste. Okay, you know what? It's time for a creative world transition. And boop. Alright, so first things first, place obsidian down. Button. That doesn't do anything. Wait, did I already break the 12 block limit? 8, 9, 10. No, maybe it's linked that way instead. Okay, that kind of worked. And now if we have a block change at the bottom here, that just went in the opposite direction. Okay, yeah, that completely broke it. You know, the funny thing is I've actually built flying machines before, so this shouldn't be that hard. One tutorial later. So I'll leave a link to whoever tutorial I just saw. I don't remember the name. I think it was Flit or something. I don't know. But apparently this is how he did it in his thumbnail. Oh my god, it works. Oh, thank you. I'm actually gonna look it up. Thank you, Flight Gaming, for your tutorial. I'll leave a link in the description. Okay, now let's go build this on the server. So observer facing down, slime block, take your piston, 2 more slime blocks, take your piston facing down, observer facing up, and that's your flying machine. Alright, I think I got it completed, but my inventory is a mess. Mojang needs to do something about it. Anyway, here it is. Oh, I'm invisible now. But as you can see, we've got the flying machine up and running. We've got some caution tape. I don't really know what to call this apart from caution tape, but maybe construction lines? You know what? That just might be it. So our interdimensional astronauts are supposed to go up here onto this. I haven't actually tested if this works, but let's see. Why can't I press this? Oh, there we go. And I think it broke. Oh, yep. That can't have that. Oh no, it's going without me. Anyway, we know it works at least because now it's stopped here. And if I press this, it broke. Maybe it's because these two have to be obsidian. At least I'm hoping that's what it is. It was. Test number 2. Still too low. What we can do is we can get rid of this button here, place the redstone lamp, then place the button, and now it should be within our reach. So let me fix this back up. Test number 3, and we are a go. Nice. And we should be landing and ready to embark on a journey. What? The observer's making faces. Oh, you know what I just realized? It's kind of unfortunate. That isn't centered. Much better. Next on the list is actually making ourselves an antenna. Because while this is receiving signals from the end dimension, we do need a stronger antenna because we need to transfer interdimensional radio waves. Let me gather the resources and head into a pop-up replay. You'll see what that means. Now, is it just me, or were these horses meant to stay underwater? Imagine a drowned mob with a trident riding one of these. That would be epic. Oh, I almost killed him. Let me know how I actually heal these garden horses in the comments, and I'll make sure not to kill him. But there you have it, the antenna is complete. And there is one small detail that I need to show you guys, is that there's actually a tree under this, because I found a beehive here and I didn't want to get rid of it, so I just let the tree stay. I thought that was a cool detail, because it's like actually exactly in the center. It's pretty cool. Now, I did mention that these diamond blocks were the power source of this build, but they're more like batteries. We do need to generate some power, and for that we're gonna go solar. So I've cleared up some space for some solar panels here, and we're also gonna try to include some sculk tech, which is basically sculk blocks that looks like technology. I don't know. So another pop-up time lapse. And as you can see, we have finished our solar panel, and it's one of the most highly sophisticated technical panels that you can ever see in Minecraft. We've got ourselves a couple of graphic card drivers. They're just air vents and technical stuff, and we've got the solar panel here. So the way this works is we've got these solar panels getting energy. It's currently blue because sculk tech, and I don't think real life panels are actually yellow like that. So these are gathering energy and sending them into these converters or batteries, then goes through the sculk and comes out in terms of two things. We have the byproduct, which is the water on the side, which also cools this stuff down, and we've got some sculk liquid, a sculk fuel, flowing through the pipes. Now I've connected this pipe towards this building. So what it does is it essentially pours it into this water stream here, and the fuel actually goes underneath and into the building, where the diamond blocks act as supercharged batteries, and then they slowly go up and they fuel the ship from those ports in the cranes. Now you notice I left this other side empty, and that's because I want this to go underwater and towards our main space station, which I have yet to build. But first I gotta mention this. This chest right here actually contains the blocks for the build for the space station, and we're supposed to pay Wild Spade, who's got this amazing base here. I'm not sure if he actually puts that in his videos, but he does make challenge videos. Check it out if you can. Is that a water block? Anyway, he wants us to return these shulker boxes, which I will gladly do so, but I'm not actually going to return it. We're going to trick him into thinking we returned it. We're just giving him 2 random boxes that look the same. Now, he did say 16 diamonds, and I have this ongoing gag with Wild Spade where I leave stuff for him near this phantom that T has claimed. As you can see, one of the payments I made here activates fireworks, and I told him I'm leaving the diamond somewhere fun, so where do you think we should leave it? Well, he wants 16 diamonds, but we're gonna pay him 2 diamond blocks because it's easier. I don't have to break it down or nothing. Let's just place it over there and there. There you go, Spade, that's your diamonds. And now I need to gather some more acacia planks. MC Oda, who runs the wood shop, is gonna have a lot of my diamonds this season. And I need to go buy some sculk as well, so T is also gonna get some diamonds, and my letterbrook. Speaking of which, next episode, I'm going to open a shop, and it's going to be enchanting. Oh, almost forgot. I had to leave these here. Get rid of that. I'm just going to leave the sign here so he knows what's up. And now what we need to do is go get the rest of the materials to build ourselves our space station. So, without any further ado, let's get to it. Did not expect that. A lot has happened. So if you're wondering why I have a chicken head on and why my wings have turned diamond, I streamed the resource gathering for the build that we just made. If you want to check that out, the VOD is in the channel. And I'll have to mention this right away. I know some of you would have been bugged out by that one blue block there, blue concrete. I fixed it, don't worry. I noticed it after rendering the replay, but there you have it. So this is the space control building with the wire wings insignia, and if you observe closely, you'll see that it looks like an eagle soaring through the eye because of the way I placed the blocks right there. Now these here are basically the windows that I've covered up in Skulk. The command center, you know, the people that sit behind the desks and make sure the rocket actually works, you know, the hardworking people. Yeah, them, they sit there. They look at the whole operation going on. And we've also sent our power signal to go from the solar panel not only to the build that we have here, but over here underwater. As you can see, it's transporting some Skulk, making its way underground and into this build, powering the whole place around. And I spoke with King Domity in between my builds, and he suggested that some of the Skulks start leaking out. And I'm thinking over the course of the next few episodes, we start spreading this around and make this its own like underwater skulk biome. And you'll notice I've also placed a few greenery blocks there. Yeah, those are called leaves. And if you notice, I also placed some shells on the beach, nautilus shells, using these item frames where you can just crouch and hit them with the mod pack we have on the server. Now I'm thinking in order to complete this area, we have two things left to do. Number one is to obviously plant more coconut trees. So if you look at my inventory, I've got a bunch of those. And I've got some soul sand and a villager to do this. So we have an armor stand mod where you can interact with the wandering traders if you have a head of theirs, and they only trade mini blocks as long as you have the blocks required. They don't give the regular trade, so it's not entirely hacking the game. But you know the best part about this? You can break the block, place it again, and you have new trades. So I'm gonna try to find a few soul sand mini blocks, because if you head over to the shopping district real quick, I need to show you something. So King Domity in one of his streams placed these soul sand blocks down, and they do look like coconuts, and I plan on leaving a few on the ground as well. And the next thing we gotta do is build ourselves a couple of walls, which is gonna be really tricky, mainly because we don't have a rigid base. It's all like all over the place. Got a beach here, and then we got this antenna out of the way. So I'm probably gonna leave the antenna out of the gate that I'm gonna build and probably like link it up to there. But let me build like a few sections of it to show you what idea I've got in mind. Oh, now that I'm here, this is so sad. You can see what this is. I wasn't recording at the time, but I wanted to bring the skeleton horse inside here, and this was on its way down the flying machine, and one thing led to another, and he suffocated in it and died. There's all this space here, and he decides to stand right over the machine. So here's what I'm thinking. We craft up a bunch of note blocks, get some glass and end rods, then we go 1, 2, 3 high for that, and then we go 1, 2, 3, then we repeat that. Okay, perfect. We've come up to a slope thing. Let's go 4 over here, 3 there. Okay, I'm out of note blocks, but this is what I'm thinking. And don't worry, it's not done yet. Okay, one more trick up my sleeve, and we can do something like this. So it's kind of like a force field that's being projected out, and we also got light here, so then we don't have to worry about these lamps anymore. So I might use the blue glass or interchange it with orange here so that it alternates and goes blue, orange, and try to place these walls as far as I can for the most part. So now we've got two things to do. Oh, I'm doing a backstroke. What? Oh, so that was a side stroke. What? I'm actually sideways now. Oh my god. I'm genuinely sideways. Backstroking. Okay, let's do this on the backstroke. Alright, so after I'm finished relaxing in this river here, I'm gonna finish up these coconut trees designed by Captain Kai, build myself a couple of walls, and tidy up the place for the final reveal. Let's get to it. I think the build's done for the video, but forgot to show you something. If I place this back here, I completely forgot to show you guys the roof of the build. So I decided to leave it nighttime just to show you guys what I've done on top here. As you can see, I've got another one of my satellites, similar to the ones on the launch pad, and the antenna. I added a couple more vents with the building by using these smokers, and this is by far the coolest feature of this entire build because there's really no interior to this. I've got a facial detector that activates, and you can basically stand here and go AFK if you break this. Eventually though, we will have a way to get down from here. Yeah, we're just gonna leave this for now, but I want to show you guys this. This is one of the drones that the Wirewings establishment owns. Now again, in the next few episodes, we're gonna build a few more, and let me show you how the area looks at night. As you can see with the way that I've placed these frog lights here, it sort of glows in the middle from all angles. And if you notice, I actually replaced these note blocks here that I had for the walls initially with andesite, polished andesite. I think it looks way more cleaner and ties in with the base a lot more smoother. Because the goal with the wall is you don't want it to attract too much attention. And speaking of attracting attention, if you did pay some attention, you know that there's no walls on this side, and I don't plan on leaving it because I'm gonna have to pause whatever I was saying. But if you can hear a squirrel behind me, that's the reason why. It's almost turning into daytime now. I think we've definitely given this place a tropical vibe with all these coconut trees. And as you can see, I have indeed planted a lot more. So I made one over here, another one there. I did go a little bit off of Captain Kai's design for coconut tree. And I even got these coconuts from the soul sand from the wandering trader. And that's the episode. But before we end today's episode, there are two things I want to let you know. Number one is that next episode, we're going to be working on the interior, where we are going to need 9 stacks of a certain type of block to replace these blue concrete blocks with. And those are diamond blocks. And as we do that, we're also going to finish the interior of this build, and then we need to open ourselves the enchanting bottle shop. And if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, I try to post weekly, and if you hit subscribe and hit the notification bell, you'll be alerted to whenever I post them. I would greatly appreciate it if you watched the video as soon as it came out, because then it'll help the video grow. But with that said, let me leave you all with this cinematic shot of an astronaut getting ready to travel into interdimensional space.